Hello, everybody, and welcome to another installment of Shauna's Spillin' the Presley Tea. And as always, I've got some tea for you. The Brigette Kruse versus Priscilla Presley lawsuit has heated up. That's right, it got caliente. So I'm gonna give you an article. I'm going to read it to you guys. That's going to give you guys a feel of what we're going to talk about. Because after I read this article telling you the 411 on what's going on between Brigitte and, Priscilla, I have the documents and we're going to read them. I've got what was filed today. Okay. So I know it's Elvis week. It's a great week, but this happened today. So I'm saying hot off the press, hot off of the filing clerk's desk up there in LA. This is it. Okay. And of course, my friends sent it to me, who I adore. And we're going to do her justice by telling you guys the nitty gritty, what's going on, what's going down. All right. So this is from the Hollywood Reporter, and I like this one better because this is a very important, you'll see what I'm talking about. Priscilla Presley sued for $50 million amid power struggle over Graceland business empire. So the lawsuit amount has gone up from Brigitte. So let's read this. Elvis Presley's ex-wife is mirrored by litigation over her handling of her name, image, and likeness rights. Priscilla has been sued by her former business partners who accused her of fraud and breach of contract for leaving them on the hook for massive damages after she falsely claimed ownership of her last name and brand, despite secretly selling those rights decades ago. They claim she failed to disclose the sale while securing lucrative investments, leaving their business in ruin. In a lawsuit filed in California State Court on Wednesday, Brigette Kruse and Kevin Fialco, the heads of Priscilla Presley Partners, which is known as PPP, okay, say they were caught in the crosshairs of a behind-the-scenes power struggle over the family trust. They seek at least $50 million. Here's more. This is where it's going to get very tricky and sad. Let me just read it to you. Lisa Marie Presley was hospitalized in 2023 and after suffering a cardiac arrest. The lawsuit says that Priscilla Presley, aware that her daughter was preparing to remove her as the sole head of her trust, prematurely withdrew life-saving medical treatment with the aim of gaining control of the estate. I repeat, Priscilla Presley, aware that her daughter was preparing to remove her as the sole head of her trust, prematurely withdrew life-saving medical treatment with the aim of gaining control of the estate. Priscilla knew that Lisa's death neutralized the threat of Lisa's efforts to have Priscilla removed as the sole trustee of Lisa's irrevocable life insurance trust, and Priscilla ultimately wanted to control the Promenade Trust and Graceland, states the complaint. At her house the following week, before Lisa's funeral, Priscilla exclaimed, "I'm the queen. I'm in charge of Graceland." The singer and only child of Elvis Presley was the sole heir to her father's sprawling estate following her death. Priscilla filed a petition challenging a 2016 amendment to the trust that removed her and the family former business manager, Barry Siegel, and trustees while designing Lisa Marie Presley's daughter, Riley Keough, and deceased son, Benjamin Keough, as co-trustees. The lawsuit says that Kruse and Fialco ultimately brokered a deal to end the dispute that involved a $2.4 million payment to Priscilla Presley and figures for Navarone. Following the settlement, Priscilla Presley was allegedly contacted by Kia Morgan. Stan Lee, the comic guy's former business manager who was accused of later acquitted on charges of elder abuse against the comic book legend. According to the complaint, he claimed in discussions with Kruse and Fialco that he could get her name, image, and likeness rights back from Elvis Presley Enterprises, which manages Elvis Presley's intellectual property. The relationship turned sour when Morgan, alongside Priscilla Presley, accused Kruse and Fialco of coercion and elder abuse, among other things. The lawsuit claimed Priscilla Presley later cut ties and Priscilla Presley partners and undermined the company's ventures by exploiting her name, image, and likeness rights on her own, including a high-profile appearance on NBC's Christmas at Graceland, comic book conventions, promotional events, without disclosing or sharing the proceeds. The lawsuit alleges that she also stole funds from the firm's bank account. Around this time, Sofia Coppola's movie Priscilla was set to premiere at the Venice Film Festival. Kruse and Fialco, who already brokered additional compensation for Priscilla Presley from A24 Pictures, were disinvited from the premiere, with Morgan going in their stead. As detailed video recordings and communications already confirm, there's absolutely no evidence of undue influence, coercion, or elder abuse involved, only a legitimate, well-documented business partnership, said Jordan Matthews. A lawyer for Kruse and Fialco, in a statement, says, "The evidence will establish that the real victims here are my clients who invested millions and years of hard work into revitalizing Priscilla Presley's brand, only to be betrayed and falsely accused once the money was on the table and every personal and business issue has been resolved." Goodness sakes, guys, it's just a lot to muster here, you know? It's a lawyer for Priscilla Presley didn't immediately respond to the request for a comment. To Wednesday's lawsuit, Priscilla Presley partners claimed in the lawsuit that it had helped broker a deal for a A24 movie adaptation of Priscilla's memoir. It accused Priscilla of breach of contract, who was allegedly months away from bankruptcy before it started managing her business affairs, for reinventing herself and making agreements. But also, at this time, Marty Singer, a lawyer for Priscilla Presley, denied the allegations and accused Kruse and Fialco of misappropriating hundreds of thousands of dollars. The alleged theft related to allegations that Kruse attempted to sell Priscilla's home to herself. In a declaration to the court, Kruse said she was directed to do so as co-trustee of Priscilla's trust. Now, this is the one thing that's really got me. And you guys, my dog Ziggy's in the background, not my puppy, my other dog. So, yeah. Let's see here. There's another article, the same thing, but I want to read to you what they said about Lisa Marie Presley, what Priscilla did to her. All right. Oops. Stupid advertisement. The suit alleges that Elvis Presley's ex-wife undermined their business ventures and exploited the death of her daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, in order to gain control over her trust and Graceland. Okay? The pair alleged they invested thousands of hours of their time. Sorry, I already read that. But what gets me is this. we already had an idea that Priscilla didn't help Lisa. Hey, Ziggy, stop. Forgive me. He's scratching and it's okay. So we all knew in our hearts that Lisa wanted to probably be saved to the best of their ability, that she wanted to be brought back. That was in her last, like when you make a last, not will, but it's kind of like when you write down your wishes. But there was somehow a do not resuscitate order, and we all felt that maybe Priscilla had something to do with it. This just confirms to me that Brigitte knew something behind the scenes went down when Lisa died. As Lisa was dying, a lot of us have felt like they cut the cord or turn the machine off prematurely, but it says right here that that's exactly what Priscilla Presley did. She prematurely took away some of the life-saving efforts that could have saved Lisa Marie. Now that is disgusting. That is not a mother. That is not a mother. That is a greedy witch that wanted her daughter's things. Guys, that's what I'm trying to put out here. It's awful. Ziggy, get out. Go on. Out. Go on, buddy. I love you too, but get out. He's distracting me. So we all felt this in our heart. We all had this right here. We felt it. We felt it when Lisa died, that something wasn't right. Something was not adding up. And that's what we got. Okay. And then this article comes out where Brigitte and her business partner Fialco knew that's what she did. And the bad thing is, in the end, when Priscilla said, "I am the queen," yeah, she's the queen. Sure. And she's like the Queen of Graceland. That's what she thinks. Really? Really? Prissy? Is that really what you think? You think you're the Queen of Graceland? So sad. You divorced him. You're not queen of anything. If anything, Priscilla is queen of her own mind and ego. But I do have the paperwork that filed today. Just give me a second and I'll get it up so we can go over it. It's 3 pages. Yep. So let's see here. All right, it's got to be made bigger because this is awful. I might have to get my reading glasses on for this, guys, because it's on my phone. How terrible. And I'm halfway blind, so you know, it is what it is. All right. Ready? All right. Okay, this is the Superior Court in the state of California, the county of Los Angeles. Brigette Kruse, an individual, Kevin Fialco, an individual with PPP Partners, LLC, Delaware Limited Liability Company. The plaintiffs is Priscilla Presley, an individual, Kia Morgan, an individual, and 1 through 10 exclusive defendants. Okay, the complaint is for thus. The case number is, just in case you guys want to look it up, I'm just going to give it to you. The case number is 25SM-DV04129. The complaint is for number 1, fraud in the indictment. 2, common count good and services rendered. 3, conversion. 4, conversion. 5, conversion. 6, breach of contract. 7, breach of contract. 8, breach of contract. 9, breach of contract. 10, intentional interference with contract. 11, Misappropriation of name and likeness. 12. Misappropriation of name and likeness. 13. Breach of contract. 14. Intentional interference with contract. 15. Intentional interference with prospective economic advantage. This is a demand for jury trial. And this is what it says. And I do have the paperwork. It's right here. There's 62 pages, but we're just going to go to the front part because that's what it's about right now. Plaintiffs, Brigette Kruse, Kevin Fialco, Priscilla Presley Partners, LLC. Virtual Recollections of Priscilla Presley, LLC. Virtual Recollections of Priscilla Presley alleges as follow. The summary of case. Elvis Presley is the king of rock and roll. Defendant Priscilla Presley, defendant and Priscilla always wanted to be the queen. In fact, despite flaunting a public persona that only wanted to protect and keep her family together, Priscilla ultimately wanted one thing: power, no matter the cost. She did anything she could to control her image with the public. 2. What stood in Priscilla's way was a tremendous, tenuous relationship with her daughter, Lisa Marie Presley. Lisa, Elvis and Priscilla's only daughter. After Elvis's death in August 16th of 1977, his estate was placed in trust of Lisa, his sole heir, who became the sole beneficiary of the trust after Lisa's grandfather and great-grandmother had each passed. Elvis's father, Vernon, was the intentional trustee and executor of Elvis's estate, while Vernon was on his deathbed in 1979 and was otherwise weak and unable to defend the estate. Priscilla, the opportunist, who only thought of herself, placed a lien on Graceland, strong aiming Vernon into making her a co-executor of the estate, taking over management of the trust. Ding, ding, ding. Number 3. The original resolved in February 1st, 1993, when Lisa turned 25, at which point she inherited the estate. Since Priscilla divorced Elvis, she was effectively entitled to nothing, as was not mentioned in Elvis's will. And in fact, pursuant to her divorce agreement, she was supposed to stop using the surname Presley. Elvis died in 1977. However, Priscilla continued to use the Presley name as she needed to exploit the name for her own financial gain, despite Elvis's wishes otherwise. Priscilla's use of the Presley name and ultimately her name, image, and likeness were crucial to her survival. Number 4. Since Lisa was the sole heir of Elvis's estate, which included ownership and control of Graceland, Priscilla was substantially dependent upon, intertwined with Lisa. Priscilla clung to Lisa and could not fathom being a mere afterthought of the Presley legacy. After all, in her mind, she was the queen. Priscilla nevertheless resented Lisa and even brought her to the Church of Scientology at a young age, doing cocaine with Lisa, getting her hooked on drugs. In reality, Priscilla envied Lisa for always being in the spotlight. In public, Priscilla portrayed the opposite persona, one of a doting mother and matriarch, known to her grandchildren as Nona. This was her image, but nothing could be further from the truth. I can't believe this is in court documents, guys. I'm not just reading someone's opinion. This is in court documents. When Lisa came, did I mess up? Hold on a minute. Okay. When Lisa came into the inheritance in 1993 at 25, established her own trust, which was ultimately called the Promenade Trust. The trust was a revocable living trust designed to protect Lisa's assets and manage her inheritance from Elvis's estate, including Graceland, valued in, at the time, or around $100 million. Promenade Financial Management, Barry Siegel, Priscilla's longtime financial manager became heavily, heavily involved in managing Lisa's finances. 6. Despite Elvis's wishes otherwise, Priscilla continued to exploit the Presley name to fund her lifestyle, eventually deploying another part of her master plan to live off the Presley name. Priscilla demanded a $6.5 million in 2005 for her own personal gain, and so she could compete against Lisa, her own daughter. Priscilla deliberately chose to ignore Elvis's wishes, attempting to forever live off of Elvis' hard-earned work and money and good name, entering into a purchase and sale agreement with Elvis Presley Enterprises, EPE, an entity that is majority owned by Authentic Brands Group. EPE manages Elvis Presley's intellectual property, including his name, likeness, and image. In 2010, under Siegel and Priscilla's stewardship, Lisa amended the Promenade Trust, listing Priscilla and Siegel as co-trustees and executing an advanced health care directive, where Lisa specifically instructed that she wanted her life to be prolonged as long as possible in making end-of-life decisions. See? Lisa wanted to be prolonged as long as possible. But from what we know, there was a do not resuscitate, and Priscilla told them to turn the machine off, right? Well, that's against Lisa's wishes, folks. Lisa's wishes was to be prolonged as long as possible. 8. After becoming aware that Priscilla and Siegel mismanaged her finances, stealing money from her, Lisa amended the Promenade Trust again in 2016, appointing herself as trustee and listing her son and daughter, Ben and Riley, as successor trustees. Lisa filed a suit against Siegel in 2018 for financial mismanagement. Lisa agreed not to name her mother Priscilla in her claims against Siegel if Priscilla agreed not to talk to the Department of Child and Family Services. In the midst of Lisa's divorce to Michael Lockwood. Ooh, that's some tea, folks. That's some tea, folks. Wow. Priscilla, tied to the hip of her co-conspirator, Siegel, ultimately abandoned Lisa and pursued greed, ensuring that Siegel managed a role as her business manager. Lisa and Priscilla were estranged, and Priscilla was once again on the outside looking in. 9. Despite her doting public persona, Priscilla had an obsession with being known like Elvis, and she led a lavish lifestyle, ultimately burning through the $6.5 million that she was able to get from the estate, despite Elvis's wishes in their divorce that she not use his name. In 2021, Priscilla was financially destitute. That's right. Although she lived a fast-paced, glamorous life, in reality she owed nearly $700,000 to the IRS and was broke. In 2022, Priscilla approached plaintiff Brigette Kruse, a well-known auctioneer who had a reputation for selling coveted Elvis Presley memorabilia, and plaintiff Fialco, a Desert Storm veteran and successful entrepreneur who had amassed an impressive collection of Elvis Presley memorabilia, to help correct her financial affairs, which were in severe distress. See Exhibit B. Priscilla used to induce Kruse and Fialco to invest in her. Kruse, a mother of 2 special needs children, who has been honored by the United States Congress and the mayor of Los Angeles, who has been knighted by royal family for her work in serving with special needs children, and Fialco accepted Priscilla's request and devoted themselves full-time in assisting repairing stabilizing and improving Presley's financial situation. Among other strategies, Kruse, Fialco, and Priscilla worked to exploit her name, image, and likeness. Kruse and Fialco deployed IP, know-how, and creative marketing to enhance Priscilla's brand, to the end at Priscilla's request and with Priscilla's attorney, Lynn Walker Wright. Yeah. So Attorney Wright, they formed several companies to own, manage, and exploit Priscilla's name, image, and likeness, which were to be managed by Kruse and Fialco for the benefit of Priscilla. Kruse and Fialco. Priscilla licensed her name, image, and likeness rights to Priscilla Presley Partners, PPP, for PPP, and its sublicense exclusive use. PPP, in turn, gave non-exclusive sublicenses in Priscilla's name, image, and likeness, recollections, and virtual recollections to pursue her various business objectives. Priscilla further entered into multiple agreements regarding her name, image, and likeness, in which she agreed not to compete and to cooperate with the exploitation of her name, image, and likeness. Presley further agreed to disclose business opportunities for the benefit of companies. Priscilla never disclosed to Kruse and Fialco, who invested thousands of hours and dollars of their time, who otherwise invested millions into Priscilla, that she previously sold the rights to exploit her name, image, and likeness years before in 2005. Yes. 12. Despite Priscilla's misrepresentations, Kruse and Fialco worked feverishly to maximize the value of Priscilla's name, spending countless hours cleaning up and otherwise handling numerous disputes Priscilla was involved in. Yep. Kruse and Fialco ignored their own businesses, which suffered financially because Priscilla's finances were in shambles and required full-time attention. When Priscilla first approached Kruse and Fialco, patrons were paying about $30 per ticket for appearance, for her shows are almost never sold out, and Priscilla was earning a net profit of around $6,000 to $9,000 per event. Despite spending upwards of $90,000 per month on her lifestyle, Kruse and Fialco used their combined business expertise to set up Q&As, corporate events, increasing ticket prices to as much as $750 each, and Priscilla began earning a net profit between $25,000 and $50,000 for given events. Yes. This is number 14. By the end of 2022, Kruse and Fialco had already invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into Priscilla, building out numerous brands around her. Baz Luhrmann's Elvis opened at the box office in June the same year and was earning significant rewards and season buzz, ultimately being nominated for 8 Academy Awards. Kruse and Fialco saw it as an opportunity to continue to course correct Priscilla's brand. But Priscilla saw it as an opportunity to get back into the spotlight and gain control. 15. Lisa and Priscilla were each planning to attend the 2023 Golden Globes on January 10, 2023 in support of Elvis. But Lisa had no desire to see or otherwise be near Priscilla. Lisa had been in a long-running dispute with Siegel, and she resented that her mother stayed with Siegel, further betraying her trust. Crucially, Priscilla was aware that Lisa was getting ready to remove her as the sole trustee of Lisa's irrevocable life insurance trust and was otherwise threatening to sue her. Kruse and Fialco nevertheless worked to keep the family together, working with Priscilla's publicist, arranging for Lisa and Priscilla to walk to the red carpet together and sit next to one another at the event. Lisa was, this is number 16 of the paperwork, Lisa was notably ill, complaining to Priscilla about her health. Priscilla ignored the warning signs despite being only a short drive from the world-renowned Cedars-Sinai Medical Center. Instead, Priscilla, at the spotlight, going out to the Chateau Marmont for drinks with Lisa, and then sent Lisa on a long drive to her Calabasas home. 17. Within just over 24 hours, Lisa suffered a cardiac arrest on Thursday, January 12th. She was rushed to West Hills Hospital. Priscilla, who knew that Lisa was in the process of taking steps to remove her sole trustee of Lisa's irrevocable life insurance trust, saw an opportunity. She did now, didn't she? An opportunity to regain control. Priscilla rushed to West Hill Hospital despite Lisa's clear directive to prolong her life. Priscilla pulled the plug within hours of Lisa being admitted, before her granddaughter Riley was able to get to the hospital, demanding that Kruse issue a statement to the media so she can control the narrative. Priscilla demanded that a statement be released immediately, stating, "It is with a heavy heart that I must share the devastating news of my beautiful daughter, Lisa Marie, has left us." 18. Priscilla knew that Lisa's death neutralized the threat of Lisa's efforts to have Priscilla removed as a sole trustee of Lisa's irrevocable life insurance trust, and Priscilla ultimately wanted to control the Promenade Trust and Graceland. At her house the following week, before Lisa's funeral, Priscilla exclaimed, "I'm the queen. I'm in charge of Graceland." Kruse and Fialco were heartbroken by this unsettling behavior. And guys, I'm going to continue to read more of this in an upcoming video, probably Saturday. But there are more, and we stopped at 18. I can't read anymore. It's breaking my heart. We already knew in our hearts that Priscilla pulled the plug. Now we know. Now we know. You know what I'm saying? Now we know. And it's awful. It's awful. I mean, remember when I told you months ago that I seen and heard things? That Brigitte had let me listen to things and see some things, and it really broke me because I knew some things behind the scenes some other people don't know yet. Yeah, this is one of them. This is one of the things I really couldn't share with you until it was already filed. That's it. And then Priscilla prancing around her house. "I'm the queen. I'm in charge of Graceland." So it saddens me. And I know it saddens a lot of you guys, because that's a lot to handle. It's a lot to chew on. And we've got to see how this plays out. But I'm going to read more of this in the next couple of days, because there's a lot of them. And I could only stop at 18, guys, because, as I said, it's just too much. It's too much. It's too much. Lisa wanted, with her last wishes, to prolong her life as much as possible. So why the hell does Mommy Dearest pull the plug? Why? Why did she pull the plug before her own daughter could visit her? Why? I don't get it. Only thing I ever got out of it, and I guess you guys would probably come up with the same conclusion, it would have to be greed. Greed. Just pure greed. And you know, money brings out the worst in people, and Priscilla has showed her true colors decades ago, guys. And the fact that she keeps her base brainwashing people to think that she was Elvis's love of his life, that she saved Graceland, that she took care of her daughter Lisa, is bullshit. It is, because we all know different. But it's just so sad just to know that Lisa wanted her life prolonged. She knew she had babies that she had to raise. The twins were still so very young. And the only reason why Priscilla pulled the plug was to try to gain control back because she knew she lost it. Evil. Freaking evil. So anyways, folks, that's the tea. It was filed today that Brigitte and Fialco, her business partner, is suing Priscilla for $50 million because that's how much they lost in revenue during all this. And as I told you guys before, you guys know what side I'm on. I'm on Kruse Fialco's side because Priscilla is an evil, greedy, hateful, hurtful witch. What else is she? And y'all, this is for entertainment purposes only, okay? But it's my opinion. That's my opinion after doing my research, after going down that rabbit hole. I've come to my own conclusions, and you guys have your own opinions and conclusions, and tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, because it's a lot to chew on, guys. Priscilla pulled the plug. Kruse knew about this. Kruse saw Priscilla dancing around her house saying she was queen. She was going to be in control of Graceland. So, plus the bad thing is that Lisa wanted to prolong her life as long as possible. She never wanted her mommy, dearest, to pull the plug. But she did. And here we are, minus Lisa. So that's it for tonight. That's my video. I hope you appreciated it. It's just sad that it has come to this, that we finally know. See what the court says about all this. It's crazy and disturbing at the same time. And I feel sorry for Riley and Harper and Finley, because they have to deal with this behind the scenes, and we didn't know. Could you imagine? You have to save face in front of the camera with your Nona, and then knowing deep inside that your mama could possibly have been saved if it wasn't for Nona pulling the plug prematurely when Lisa, their own mother, stated she wanted to prolong her life as long as possible. That would be hard. It would be a hard pill to swallow. So I'm going to pray for those girls. They really need it. And I feel so sorry for Lisa and Elvis. It just goes to show money is the root of all evil. It's greed. Elvis had to deal with it. Then when he died, still dealing with it. Lisa had to deal with it. She died. It's still being dealt with. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening to me this evening. You could have went to any Elvis channel for your Brigitte, Priscilla Presley news, but you didn't. You came to mine, and for that, I love each and every one of you guys for it, okay? I do. Thank you all for all the well wishes of me returning back. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'll make another video reading the rest of this real soon. I left at number 18, so we'll start at 19 when I make my next video about this subject. Also, guys, it's Elvis week, right? So I do have a video I will be making live on Friday. We're going to talk about Elvis week, okay, on Friday night. All right, that'll be the 15th. I'm going to try and cut out early so everybody can leave and watch the visual. Watch everybody walk up and pay their respects. So out of respect of Elvis, I will be cutting it off early so we can all watch the live visual. For those that are at Elvis Week, rock on. You know, I wish I could, but it never happens for me. It's expensive, and my job always requires me to stay here during the month of August. So maybe one day. Can't ever say never, right? Okay, guys. TCBTLC. God bless you all. And you know what? I'll see you on the other side, of course, and hopefully I can get this haircut soon. My Lord, it's grown so much. I've lost weight. My hair's grown. I do need a haircut, guys. Tell me in the comment section below, how short should I do it? Keep it long? Do layers? You guys let me know. All right, guys? I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Be safe out there, okay?